Welcome to the special meeting, a budget hearing for City Council, June 20th, 2022. I'll call on Louis Veen, our attorney, to lead us in an invocation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let us pause and bow our heads. Our great and gracious God, we come before you humbled by how small we humans are in this great, wide, beautiful world, but knowing that we have been entrusted with the care of this creation, and especially in our role as public servants, that we are entrusted with trying to do our best to care for this small part of that creation known as Morganton. We ask that you lead, direct, encourage, and enable this elected council, these city employees, and all who serve here. Give them wisdom, courage, and faith this day and always. Amen.
Thank you, Lloyd. At this time, I'll call the public hearing and consideration of the City of Morganton budget for fiscal year 22-23. Sally?
Would you like a quick recap?
Please, quick recap.
Okay. So it's an $82 million budget, proposes that the tax rate of 57 cents remain the same, the 14-cent downtown tax rate remain the same. Water and sewer rates will be effective a 4% increase August the 1st in the variable cost, the fixed cost unchanged. Effective again August 1st of 22. Electric would see an average 5.5% decrease in electric rates, varies between 2 and 14% depending on the type of customer. For Compass, there would be no increase in the video, the TV piece, not even in January. Phone customers would see a $3 a month decrease beginning in August, and then the only change in the internet fees would be eliminating the 10 megabit service and taking our smallest service to 50 at $49.95 a month. Residential garbage would remain the same, $12 a month, and commercial garbage fees would increase $1.50 per cubic yard. There's several other fees and charges in there that have had tweaks and adjustments to them, but in a nutshell, that's it.
Okay, this is a public hearing, and for those viewing at home, Chris Jernigan is not with us. He's joining us by phone, so just to make sure people understand he is present, at least his vote will be present. So,
Would you please, Mr. Mayor, confirm with
Chris, you're with us, aren't you?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
here?
and you can hear, no problem.
I'm here with no problem.
Okay, there he is. Okay, great. This is a public hearing to talk about the budget. Would anyone like to speak concerning the budget? Seeing no one come forward, public hearing is now closed. I need a motion from council.
Make a motion to adopt a budget ordinance for fiscal year 2022-2023.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Wendy? You good?
Thanks a lot. I'm good.
Okay. It is a lot of money, yes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. It passes. I need another motion, please.
I'll make the motion
I'll
to,
make
go ahead, Chris.
I'll make a motion to adopt the schedule of fees and changes for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Okay, I have a motion to adopt the schedule of fees and charges for 22-23. Do I have a second? It's Wendy, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Chris? Aye. Thank you, sir. Next on our agenda is consideration of approval of a budget amendment to receive a second batch of ARPA money. Sally?
Yes, so as promised, we have received our second deposit of the ARPA monies, the direct money from the federal government. Last year, about the same time, we received $2,417,809.50, and we have received that same amount again for a total of $4,835,619. And that is sitting in the special revenue fund, and this will amend that special revenue fund to accept these dollars.
What's the wish of council?
I'll enter a motion to approve a budget amendment to receive second tranche of ARPA directed funds in the amount of $2,417,809.50.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Sally, this money's in good hands now with our special position, correct?
I think that it is in real good hands, because the finance people never let it far out of their sight.
Oh, okay. Finance has a good,
And that tranche or tranche, that's like a finance word, you know, it makes us feel
I
smart.
sure wasn't familiar with it.
okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Motion passes. Next is consideration of approval of year-end budget amendments for 21 and 22. Sally?
Yes, it's that time of year where we do a little bit of fixing and technical moving arounds of some dollars. And this year we have 3 of those. The largest is by far in the electric fund, and we are asking you to consider a $575,000 amendment to the capital improvement program. Hands down, that deals with transformers, equipment for several of our big major projects, equipment for the hospital project, and ordering that. As you well know, we are looking at 10 to 12 month lead times, and so we really need to get it all ordered. And so that is the reason for this one, and we are using appropriated fund balance in order to do that. Also, some reimbursement for services and some interest. So we have earned a little bit more interest this year than what we imagined at the beginning of the year. And so the revenues to make that up are those 3. The second one, and then I'll ask you after I talk about them to do them individually. The second one is in our IRMS fund and actually our IGS fund, and that is for garage services. And we are asking you to raise that $75,000, and that is really for fuel. Some salary changes there for some hiring we had to do during the year, but by and large for the purchase of fuel. And while we're on that topic, the budget that we just approved will not be enough to pay for fuel next year, so we'll be bringing back amendments throughout the year to you in that, I am certain. And then finally, the wastewater fund, I'm asking for a budget amendment in the amount of $40,692.94, and that is in salaries and wages, and that is reflective of some mid-year adjustments that we had to do for market adjustments and in order to be able to hire people.
What's the wish of council?
Motion to approve the budget amendment for $575,000 in the electric fund for the capital improvement program.
Thank you, Chris. I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. I need a second amendment, second motion, please.
And before making that motion, please note that's not it's not IRMS fund, right? It's
Yeah, I said IGS.
IGS.
IGS. Okay.
I penciled that in, so I'll make the motion to approve a budget amendment of $75,000 in the IGS fund for purchase of fuel and for salaries and wages.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
The motion passes. I need a third motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve a budget amendment in the amount of $40,692.94 in the wastewater fund for salaries and wages.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Chris, I know you made the motion. I need your vote.
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Next is consideration of approval of pay ranges and COLA effective July 1st, 2022. Sally?
With the new budget that will go into effect July 1 that you just adopted, understand that that includes a 4% cost of living adjustment for employees, and can tell you that the average across the state for other governmental employees is 4.7%, as reported by the league survey. In doing this, it's also customary that you move your pay ranges. And so we're asking that you bump the minimum salaries in the pay ranges 2.5%. And the difference in the 2.5% and the 4% will help some with pay compression and hiring new ones and folks who have already been employed for a while. In addition to that, there are 3 other changes. There is one pay grade increase for the Director of Public Safety, and that is relative to our study. And then addition of the American Rescue Plan Act and Special Projects Manager position, who's controlling all that money.
Right.
And then the moving of the distribution and collection system operators and the senior operators up one pay grade, which will make that the same in water and wastewater as the wastewater and water plant operators. And that is relative to what we talked about earlier and the difficulty in hiring for those positions.
What's the wish of council?
Motion to approve pay ranges, cost of living adjustment effective July 1, 2022.
I have a motion to have a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is consideration of a conversion of Stony Place to a one-way street. Sally?
Stony Place is a narrow commercial street. It's really one block in length. And if you've ever been down there with cars parked on both sides, you don't have but about one lane anyway. So in taking a look at this and trying to make the right decision, the other thing with it is up at Sterling Street, as you're coming in, it's really difficult to make that turn.
Right turn.
And to turn at the angle that exists there. So staff is recommending changing that to a one-way street. Their parking will be marked, but there won't be any time limits on parking there. And so we won't have anything. We're also doing a little bit of drainage and curbing work over in that area. So,
What's the wish of council?
Motion to amend section 110 of Appendix 1 of the city's code of ordinances to add Stony Place to the list of one-way streets with traffic to flow from west to east.
Okay, I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Second from Wendy. Sally, this will be one way from the College Street Recreation Center forward.
from
towards-
King Street towards Sterling Street is how we'll run. And it has been duly noted that as you're coming into town on Sterling Street, it's difficult to get it exactly signed to come up to that difficult angle because some people could interpret that as not being able to turn on College Street.
Right.
But they'll get used to it after a while.
Okay, well, we
At least
got-
we're going with that.
That's what we're gonna do. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next is consideration of award for comma master plan. I believe we have a handout.
You do. So this item, this is late breaking news and been working on it up through last Friday. And Sharon is here tonight to tell you a little bit. Remind you that at the February 2022 workshop, we talked about this. And in the budget that you just passed, there's $75,000 budgeted.
So
Sharon?
our goal was to make sure that we're ready for capital requests. So I was trying to get ahead of the game. We put out a request for proposal, gave them 6 weeks to respond. The deadline was a week ago, and we chose 4 of the 8 submittals. And then we had 14 people, including Butch McSwain, who sat in with us, who were kind enough to do the interviews. From those 4, I will say that about an hour and 15-minute discussion entailed, because we had 2 really great candidates that rose to the occasion. Louis was there also. But we are asking the council to approve the DLR group. I think there is a much longer name than that, but the DLR group, they really stood out. I think they're going to be good for us. They had the strongest piece to them was their community engagement, and which is going to be a big deal for CAMA. One of the things that we've got to do is reach new audiences. And even in preparing for a master plan, I need input, and so it's critical that we reach masses of people. And so anyway, we're asking tonight for the DLR group to in the amount of $59,500, in addition to actually a total of $64,500. Because we want to go ahead and get an estimation, a cost estimation of what comes out of this. The only thing I do want to add is that please understand this master plan, while it may not be downtown in 38 blocks, it will take into consideration not only the building, but everything surrounding it, because it does have a strong impact.
That's right, and things in it, whether it's the sound. I mean, there's an acoustical expert that's involved in this team, marketing, promotions, kind of the whole gamut.
What's the wish of council?
I'll make the motion to approve the contract with DLR to conduct master plan process for effective July 1st, 2022.
Okay. Is that,
That's what we need, isn't it?
Oh,
Well,
sorry, no,
yeah,
there-
it's a little-
actually, now that
okay.
we have real numbers,
Well.
we've added in the stuff that matters.
keep going.
That's what we knew Friday, today we know more.
And for the amount of $64,500, and authorizing the mayor and city manager to make any technical amendments or changes as necessary, and to execute the agreement in the final form on behalf of the city.
We have a motion to have a second. Second. Wendy, thank you. Sharon, if I read the information correctly, you got 245 design?
So the
That
group
group.
that we chose, yes, have received 245 design awards. They're a huge company.
yeah.
And
Yeah, I
one
was
of
gonna
their
say.
offices is in Charlotte. But I mean, like I said, they're the whole package. They had a guy in from Chicago who is the theater consultant. They had the lady in from New York. So it was a good team, and they assured us that is the team that gets to work with us.
Okay.
So we're very pleased.
Okay, great.
And the time frame that was set up for them really was brutal, and they're very confident they can handle it, and I felt real comfortable with the group.
Well, Butch, thank you for serving on that group.
And the time frame's super important, I think it's worth saying, because in order to, it's not just for going into capital planning season, but whatever comes out of this relative to the sound system, and if we decide to move forward with that piece, the time frame to do that is in the summer months, when mostly we're down, and so the timing is very important.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Chris? Aye. Okay, thank you so much, Sharon. Good work. I know you were on a tight schedule there. Next is consideration of the Mission 2030 Master Plan, or readoption. Sally,
So,
readopting.
so why are we readopting? Philip, you wanted to talk about this, or you want me to talk about this? Come on.
Philip, thanks.
Members of the council. So one of the, if you recall, several months ago, we made quite a lot of changes to our zoning code relative to the state law requirements in Chapter 160D of state law. One of those additional requirements in 160D is that in order to have zoning and effective in your municipality, you have to have a current future land use plan, future land use map. And as we are now that we have just adopted the budget, have money in the budget to carry out a rewriting of our comprehensive plan, we felt, the city attorney and I felt like out of an abundance of caution, we should go ahead and re-adopt the plan that we have, which basically takes into consideration all of the amendments that we have made along the past several years in rezoning properties. We have adjusted that map. So this just is more of a comprehensive effort to re-adopt that plan to make sure that we're within the time limits prescribed by law. So it gives us time to then take our time, so to speak, and write our comprehensive plan very deliberately and make sure that we get everything the way that we want, how we want to be, how we want to look, how we want to grow up in 20 years. What we want to look like, we have the time to do that so that we can, and then we can do that appropriately. But this gives us that time to do that without any fear of not meeting state law.
I'll ask our city attorney for any comments.
Just very briefly, Mr. Mayor. What the law requires is that the comprehensive plan be reasonably maintained. And I think we've done that. We've made amendments to it, as Philip was referencing. But it was adopted, it's hard to believe, 13 years ago. So it has a little age on it. That's why we're developing a new one. But we both, Philip and I certainly both felt that it better to be safe and make clear that we are re-acknowledging our plan as amended many times as the comprehensive plan until we get the new one, which that process will take a while.
And as we talked about in February, now we'll go through a process to seek RFQs for who can do that for us, make a decision, come back to you, award a contract. And then that starts what's probably about an 18-month process with a lot of community engagement, citizen involvement in order to develop a new plan.
Philip, thanks. What's the wish of council?
Motion to readopt and reapprove the Mission 2030 Comprehensive Plan.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Wendy, thank you so much. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Motion passes. Is there anything else to come before the council tonight? Sally, great job. Staff, great job for putting it all together and keeping us up and running
And we will not have another meeting until August.
in August. Okay. Hearing nothing else, we're adjourned.